Hi everyone, welcome to another video from Dequaz. So after the failure of the last attempted challenge run, I've been thinking about a new challenge run to do. And I kind of had this great idea, well I think it's a great idea, of doing a challenge run where you have to try and catch every fish in the first year. Was kind of my kind of idea for the challenge. Yeah, so basically the challenge comes with a couple of its own, obviously, unique issues, mainly being in regard to the fact that obviously Legend is only available in spring, and which means you're trying to get that required, I think it's level 7 or level 8 fishing in the very first year. And then even catching him on 8 is going to be quite difficult, I think. So that's kind of the kind of mentality behind it. It's going to be a lot of fishing and obviously trying to get to. I think to start with, we're going to focus on saying that it's catching all the fish that are available in the original kind of prior to Ginger Island. Because obviously there are Ginger Island fish now, which would be a completely unobtainable outside of. Within the first year, I don't think we're going to be able to get there. But we are going to try. We're going to try and make some money and complete the community center as well at the same time. But main focus, obviously, is trying to catch all the original fish. There's two that are going to be particularly difficult. Obviously, the mutant cart is going to require a completion of the community center in order to get into the sewers. In order to catch the mutant cart. However, it might not require that. I think you might just need to do enough of the enough in the museum to get the key and then open it, because it might just be available the outside part, not on the inside part. But then the slime jack, which might actually make the slime jack the hardest fish to get. But yeah, so there are little things to think about. I'm doing this completely unmodded. I was thinking about giving myself look up anything and stuff like that, but I think I'm going to do a fully unmodded playthrough, not even aesthetic mods, which is quite unusual for me. Quite often, I really enjoy most of this like, you know, the seasonal outfits and stuff like that. But we're going to go for it. We're going to go completely unmodded and have a real crack at it. So it's quite a difficult one, obviously. And hopefully we complete it. We're going to give it a red hot go and see how we go, I think, basically. So we're going to create a character and go. I'm not going to bore you with me just rambling while I'm fishing constantly. So what we're going to do is, for this video, we're going to cut it and make like snippets, and I'm going to talk over the top of them and stuff like that. But that's kind of the introduction to the channel, and wish me luck. The introduction to the challenge. Wish me luck. So I think what we're going to do to start with is, obviously, first day, we've got no fishing rods, so I think I'm going to try and gather the stuff up so we can complete some of the sections of the community center as we go, to kind of set myself up for the community center. So gathering wild seeds so that hopefully I can get like maybe some potatoes and cauliflower without having to buy them, saving our money up, because obviously we've got the really big purchase we want pretty early on of the iridium rod. I'm not going to bother with the fiberglass. I'm not bad at fishing. I can catch most of the fish without the fiberglass rod, and the fish that I can't catch with the base rod, the fiberglass rod doesn't really make a difference on, like aka Legend, the octopus, a lava reel and stuff like that. Like then the difference between the base rod and the fiberglass rod is so insignificant on fish like that I don't think it's going to be worth it. So we're going to go straight for like the $7,500 for the iridium rod. So basically we want to make sure we get the forageable so we can unlock the next 2 bundles, because we want particularly to unlock the fishing bundle so that we can get the crab pots really early. Because one of those, we've done no remix bundles, so that we have gone for the base bundle. So if you complete the crab pot bundle, you get 3 crab pots, which is awesome, because that means that we can hopefully smash out pretty easily without much iron required. The crab pot like fish, so like, you know, like the crab, the lobster, which are annoying to get particularly. I think the other thing that we're going to do is, because obviously we're going to need 1 crab to complete the crab pot bundle, and I'm not going to go into the mines at all for a while. Definitely not until I've caught Legend. So that means what I'm probably going to do is buy my first crab pot as well, which I think is a bit expensive. I think that one, once you're level 3, you can buy them from Willy, and I think they're about 1,500. But I don't think money's going to be a huge issue considering the fact that I am just going to be doing fishing the whole time, and I'm going to save up most of my fish at the start and sell them when I get the 25% profit buff. I think that's kind of my thought process here. I think I'm going to start by doing the bundles, and then what I might do is I might actually create a separate save file, like back up my save file, and then I might attempt. I don't know. It's hard. Like I think that I can't do it by doing the community center. I'm going to have to go the JoJo route with the pure money, but there's a part of the back of my mind which is like, no, you can't do the community center. But then I feel like I'm doubling up on challenge. It's catching all the fish in 1 year as well as completing the community center in 1 year, which isn't particularly hard, completing the community center in 1 year, but it is when you're sacrificing all of spring for fishing. So that's kind of where I'm at mentally. Like, I'm thinking about going JoJo because it'll just make my life easier. I can get the desert for what, 40k, 35 for the desert, the bus fixing, and 5k for the membership, which isn't a lot of money considering. I mean, with fish, it is a lot of fish, but also like not an incredible amount of money. And then obviously just you can just buy out the community center so that you can go straight to the swamp for the void salmon. That's kind of where I'm at thought process wise. Yeah, so obviously if you guys have any feedback whether you think I should try and attempt to go the community center, obviously let me know in the comment section. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go JoJo because I think it's the most logical. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking at the moment. So obviously, first plan of attack for spring is obviously we want to catch all of the spring fish. And so, spreading my time fishing between the lake, mountain lake up near the mines, the river, and the ocean is going to be a key thing. I think particularly early on, I think the ocean is going to be the main fishing location because of the rock giving that slight boost to rarity. Oh, well, that's what I think it gives a slight boost to rarity. Some people, I think it's still there are like levels in fishing zones. So there's like zones 1 to 5, and if you hit a zone 5 fishing, you get a higher chance of rarer fish, which has a twofold effect. Obviously, they sell for more money, but also when we're looking from an XP point of view, it means more XP, which is kind of the big key thing early on. So I think what we're going to start is probably the first day or two of fishing are going to be about just making sure we've ticked off all the main fish that we can get, particularly day 3, which is obviously going to be our rain day, where we need to get our catfish and our eel. Catfish is one that can be quite difficult with a base rod, particularly with a low level of fishing. But as you can see, I did quite well on my first day, particularly almost getting the I got the level 2. The only annoying thing about the first day is I tried to see how it would go fishing on the farm so that I could kind of do my time a little bit better. I thought about, so that, that like 10 to 2 o'clock in the morning kind of frame, if I've got a level 2 o'clock, if I don't, 10 o'clock, I could try and fish on the farm. But the fish is just, you get like 20 to 40% junk, and then like 20% of it's just going to be seaweed and stuff. But obviously you see I got the first 2 levels, which is an awesome first day, which meant that the second day is going to be all about getting those, that eel and getting that catfish. The only other fish that you kind of want to get is the shad. The shade is a rain-only fish. So we'll have a go at that. You can see what I'm talking about the zones though. As you can see where I am, if like I manage to hit that darker water, I get the next zone, which decreases the chances of getting any of the junk, and also increases the quality of the fish. And so and also increases the chance of getting rarer fish. And so that's kind of like one of the things about like there's like particularly good fishing locations. And that's why I think I really don't like the river, because it doesn't, I think even on the river, I could be wrong about this, but I think even on the river, that's still zone 4. I think the zone 5 location is like up the top, where you get the legendary fish. But the real issue I find is that I tend to get a lot of junk in the river, and the fish themselves aren't worth that amount of money. And so what I did, I'm going to show you in a bit, is I created an Excel spreadsheet that kind of goes through each fish, where they are, location, and XP. Because obviously, you know, in an ideal world, you'd catch the highest XP fish every time, but that's not what happens. So it's about like trying to work out the average XP you get per fish, so that you can try and find the best location. And this is obviously the rock that I'm talking about, where, I don't know, I personally find that maybe it's just because it's easiest to get the level 5 zone on the rock, but I also find even then, I tend to get a lot more iridium fish off the rock than I do at any other location, even if I'm fishing at a level 5 location. So I like fishing here. The other good thing about here is if you do fill up with fish and it's before 5 o'clock, you can just go dump them all at Willy and sell them all to Willy and then come back. Which is a pretty good thing. Plus, if you're doing a quest for Willy or something like that for some extra money, which I think is a good way to get some early cash, particularly if you're doing like 25% playthrough. It's pretty good. But you can see I've got the catfish, which is pretty awesome. And, you know, I started racking up a fair bit of treasure actually on these first couple of days, which was, you know, obviously, you know, we want to get about 50 items, I think it's donated to get the sewer key. And so it's helping out with that. I think you know, particularly like the iron and stuff could end up being useful if I get enough copper ore. I can make or iron ore, copper ore, and sap. I think for the trapper bobber, which is gonna be the key one we're gonna want to try and catch legend. Having said that, you can just buy them once you've unlocked the level, and I think that's the big thing. I'm just gonna probably spend some money on some stuff, particularly maybe on some trout suit to get that +1 level in fishing. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to complete enough of the bundles to get the Fish of the Sea dinner from any of the bundles. Because I don't think you can complete any bundle except for the crab pot bundle in spring. Because they all need at least a summer fish. I think most of them need at least a fall fish, to be honest. Oh, I think you can get the if you can get into the secret woods and you can get a sandfish from the traveling cart, you can complete that bundle. But we're not gonna like the bundles aren't the key thing. The key thing obviously is getting on the fish. So and the bundles can help. Like obviously with the 3 crab pots we'll get from the crab pot bundle. And yeah, so I think I got pretty lucky. I got the shad and the bream, and we're getting some geo crab. We got the ancient doll, which is pretty good. Starting to really rack up in the XP as well. I think I should hopefully get 3, I reckon, by the end of this day. And then continue on crushing it. So I think I've almost got all of... I just need some mountain fish left and the flounder and the halibut at this point to get all of the spring fish that are, like, accessible. Obviously, they're technically all-season fish, like, you know, the lava eel, ice pike, stonefish, sandfish, scorpion, carp, and stuff like that. But obviously those locations are shut to me. And so this is obviously the mountain lake, and this is where I think technically, if you do the averages for spring at least, this is the best XP location, because the chub, the bullhead, and the largemouth bass are all quite high XP fish. Whereas like you got the sardines and the anchovies are quite common in the ocean, and they're really low XP, like the same as the carp. I know it's hard, like, you know, to do a true... I just averaged the number of possible fish options and kind of worked out which are the better average. But technically, if you want to be, like, super hardcore on it, you would, like, take into account a catch rate, like, how often they appear, and stuff like that. Because, like, I think the flounder's technically higher than the largemouth bass by, like, 1 XP, but the flounder's got a low chance. Whereas the chub and the bull are quite common, and they're actually... and the largemouth bass are not uncommon either, and they're actually quite high in comparison to what you get in the ocean. So I think this is the best location. But the thing is, the best place to fish here is not where I'm fishing right now. It's best after day 5 when you can walk around and fish at the log, and you can get that higher chance of getting rarer fish, basically. But as you can see from that collection page, we're doing pretty well overall on how many fish we've caught. And if we can get a halibut and a flounder now, boom, flounder, whoop, whoop, whoop. We can obviously kind of smash it out. So, you know, that's kind of the current goal. I think it's going pretty well. You get like you get a bit sick of fishing. I'm getting like it's only day 4, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a lot of fishing, and you kind of want to potentially break it up, but also you need to get that level 10. That last level in particular is going to be the nightmare. I think it's going to take like at least 3 to 4 days of hard, solid fishing to get it, because yeah, I mean you could try and I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe buying some treasure baubles. I think they're called treasure hunter or something like that. But I think treasure gives you a little bit extra XP if you get more treasure, and they increase the chances of small increase the chance of treasure appearing, plus that increase in like the no decrease in catch, whatever you want to call it. You know, they don't escape. That's the word I'm looking for. They don't escape while the treasure bubble, while you're on the treasure, if you have a treasure bubble, which is kind of, helps out a little bit, But yeah, that's kind of like my main strat at the moment. I've caught a fair few fish. I'm saving it all, obviously, until I get that level 5, because I'll sell it all, and I got the halibut as well, finally, which is pretty good. Yeah. So, obviously that's kind of the first couple of days of my fishing challenge. I thought I would kind of run you through, guys, kind of the Excel spreadsheet that I made. So this is what it looks like. Obviously it has all of the fish on it, including the night market fish. It has there the name of the fish, the location that you catch them in, the season that you catch them in, the time that you can catch them in, the weather you catch them in, whether they are in a bundle. The bundles are not very helpful because obviously some of these are only in remix bundles, which we didn't do, and the XP that they give. I've kind of highlighted a couple, like these are the main Ginger Island fish, and then these are the legendary fish, obviously, because they're slightly unique. And so what this allows you to do, so if we're looking at our current season, obviously, you uncheck all. We got spring, fall, summer. And then we have all seasons, not winter, not summer, and not fall. So these are the fish that are available in the 3 seasons. So they're available all seasons except for summer, all seasons except for winter, all seasons except for fall. And I think that's it. We don't have a spring, winter, do we? Spring, fall, spring, summer. Well, I mean, we kind of do in the form of knots, but yeah. And then, so this is your spring only fish that you can catch in spring. And then, obviously, you can sort by weather conditions then on top of that. And you can see that you have your catfish, your eel, and your shad, which are available in rain only. And your sunfish, that's available in sun only. And then, then that leaves you with the top part here, which are available in your all-time round. So if we actually, what we actually can do here is actually, instead of sorting, we're gonna just remove ones that are not all. So, get rid of those ones, because obviously when we're looking at what we were talking about before, when we're looking at place ones that are basically only, like, if you're looking at XP is what I'm trying to say. So if you're looking at XP catchable, we want to look at the ones that are the best XP, right? And so then we can kind of, you can do a couple of things. You can sort, so if we sort from A to Z here, and then we sort from smallest to largest here, you can kind of see that we have, here we have the ones that have the most XP, right? You can kind of see, obviously, these ones here are all unobtainable, right? So unobtainable. So all of these are unobtainable. So we can just remove their locations, right? So obviously anything in the mines, we haven't done any mines yet. Anything that's a Ginger Island, we can't do. Oh, we might want to. The Ginger Island ones are hard because we anything that's the Witch, the Swamp, or the sewers, or the Mutant Bug Glare, we can get rid of. Okay. Now, we have some, we can also, no fill as well, so, which removes the colors. But, I don't want to get into clear, I don't want to get into more complex ones. We can do a multi-layered sort if we wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to remove Witches, the Swamp, Secret Woods, Desert, and obviously Pirate Cove, Ocean and Ginger Island. I think if we got rid of Ginger Island altogether, that should just give us what we're looking for anyway. Oh no, the issue is it's going to get rid of the Flounder. we'll get rid of mines. Mutant bug lair. We'll leave these. Pirate Cove, Ginger Island only is obviously a different situation. Okay. So now we have a couple, right? So obviously this is kind of now we're looking at ones that we can catch on a regular basis, right? So these are the ones we can catch on a regular basis, sorted by XP. And you can kind of see what I was talking about before, that obviously that these are the 19s, right? So 23 and 195 are uncatchable. I mean, Legend is not uncatchable, you only catch him once. So we're looking at these four are the 4 highest XP, right? So obviously these are the ones that, you know, you want to try and catch the most of so you can get the most XP to quickly level up your fishing. Now, Flounder is obviously a 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. and it's 19. And Halibut is a 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. So the issue with these is that you can't catch them side by side a lot of the time, right? So you can. So technically there is, you know, from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. there's a double up, right? Where you can catch them. And I think technically I'm not showing the entire time because you can actually catch halibut at night as well. But so maybe from 6 to 7. But most of the time you're only catching one of them. And then the next highest in the ocean, looking at ocean, is all the way down here at 13, right? Which is a sardine and an anchovy. They're both 13 and they're real, and herring, right? They're all really low. So other than the halibut and the flounder, all the other ocean fish are really low. So 11, 13, 13, right? And then, so you're just hoping for these flounders and your halibuts, and they're both not as common. So most of the time you're catching 11 and 13s. Whereas if you look at the actual mountain lake, you have the largemouth bass, which is quite common. I actually think probably more common than the flounder or the halibut. But anyway, it's a 19. And then they have an 18, which is only 1 XP different, and that's the bullhead. Then you have the chub, which is a 14, right? And then you have the carp, which is obviously the lowest, which is an 8. So, but all of these are, most of them are, except for the largemouth bass, are any time as well. So, which is a 6 to 7 p.m. So, from my personal kind of working out the averages, I think that when you take into account the fact that if you kept fishing in the right location on the lake, you're getting the same level 5 bonus, which is obviously we'll show you in the next episode because I'll be fishing from that location. I think the XP from the Mountain Lake is the best when you work it out, because I think that the number of breams, bullheads, and chubs that you catch are quite high, and they're a fair bit more XP. And so this is the base XP, by the way. This doesn't take into account perfect catch, which doubles it, I'm pretty sure. And then obviously you get 1 for a normal quality. There's a modifier for each quality up. So I think it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which obviously affects the amount of XP you get, plus treasure chances. And I also tend to find that in the ocean you get more seaweed and algae than you do in the mountain lake as well. So that's kind of my reasoning behind where I'm fishing. Obviously, each season is going to change. So if we change this from spring to, let's go, summer, all seasons, not summer, and there's no not spring, so summer. These are our fish from summer. And you can see that there's a little bit of a different change here, because I think in summer, you have the tuna, which is 26. Now, okay, the summer's a bit of an interesting one, actually. What I'm going to say about the summer. Here's what I'm going to say about the summer. I think if you sort by XP, you can see that we have the tuna here, which is, we need to sort this smallest to largest. So we got summer now, right? You can see that we have octopus, which is huge, which is a 34. Super cucumber, which is a 29, which is pretty good, bigger. And then the next biggest is obviously sturgeon, right? Now, I would say that super cucumber and octopus are very difficult to catch. Particularly the octopus is one of the hardest fish in the game to catch. So I don't think relying on them that much for XP is that smart of idea. But the tuna is not hard to catch at all, right? The sturgeon is a little bit difficult, but not that difficult. But the tuna is not difficult at all to catch. Plus, the next highest is the red mullet. And then you got the flounder, then you've got the halibut, right? So I think in summer, oceans is definitely going to be the call. Because now the XP has definitely pushed the ocean into the lead. So I think when summer hits, we're going to do some ocean fishing. So that's kind of my breakdown of my playthrough. But I also think when summer hits, we're probably going to focus on starting the mines as well. Particularly to get that skull key. For the iridium. If we are going to... Because we're still going to have a crack at getting to Ginger Island. So we need the iridium for the... there. So that's also in my thought. Also, plus building up... we need battery packs, which we could buy potentially. But maybe building up some... foraging skill. That's why the word lost me. But that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Tons of feedback, please. Is the fast forwarding disorientating? Maybe we'll just want more cuts of like some quality fishing moments or something. I don't know. Let me know what you think. And so thanks for watching.